Hello, today we're going to discuss how new technologies, new statistical techniques, the advent of computers is revolutionizing medicine. I still remember during my residency, the treatment for heart failure, we used to discuss mainly diuretics and digoxin. Now we've come a long way since then. This topic focuses on a single article which involved use of biopsy on patients that were undergoing heart transplant, comparing diabetic cardiomyopathy versus non-diabetics, and looking at the molecular basis because we have powerful tools available right now. Now, ischemic cardiomyopathy patients with diabetes do significantly worse than those that are non-diabetic. Um, so the question is why? And if some of us have read Mustafa Suleiman's book, The Coming Wave, it goes into how the new technologies are going to revolutionize everything in our lives. And here is a good example. In this study, they went beyond the biopsy. There was a multi-omic revolution, shall we say. They used the same tissue sample to study proteomics, metabolomics, lipidomics, and RNA sequencing. So they quantified more than 4,000 proteins and metabolites, and they could map the molecular architecture. They could do this because there's unprecedented human data sets available. There's a pre-heart bank, which has, so basically they took biopsy, snap froze it, cryopreserved it, and then healthy matched donors, so donor heart biopsy was used. There are 20 of these. Ischemic cardiomyopathy donors with and without diabetics, 14 with diabetes and 16 without diabetes. And then they analyzed the tissue and they avoided animal model pitfalls. So they found which genes are upregulated, which are downregulated, and the key insight they discovered is that perilipen 4 is downregulated, lipid droplets become unstable, fatty acids are rejected back into circulation. You should recall that cardiomyocytes metabolize fat, preferentially not glucose. Therefore, there's metabolic starvation. Basically, there is glucose lockout. The heart starves in the midst of plenty. Insulin resistance prevents glucose uptake. Amino acid catabolism is shut down. And this leads to a big metabolic imbalance. There's an energy crisis with downregulation of several molecules and loss of NADH. And this disrupts the supercomplex assembly. And then this is associated on microscopy with dislocation, and ALDOA is not associated with the disc anymore. This leads to structural integrity collapse. This leads to sarcomere disarray with downregulation of TNN3 and dysregulated calcium cycling and Z disc collapse. This leads to a stiffened heart with fibrosis in the matrix and increased collagen. And there's metabolic starvation, as we discussed before, and there's stiffening outside. As a result of this, basically, mitochondrial health gets bad, and succinate-CoA is a proxy for mitochondrial health, and this is abnormal. So basically in diabetic ischemia, diabetes plus ischemia causes lipid efflux, glucose lockout. This causes increase from reactive oxygen species formation, as is mitochondrial dysfunction. This causes Z disc collapse and fibrosis that causes mechanical failure and worsening ischemia, a vicious cycle. So the old standard used to be, let's treat hemodynamics, beta blockers, ACE inhibitors, etc. Now that we understand molecular mechanisms better, we could look into specific molecular targets. So the future of cardiology and future of medicine is indeed molecular. Diabetes fundamentally alters ischemia. Invisible defects drive failure. Multiomics reveals complex one and lipid flaws. There's 3D protein problems and there's mechanical weakness. Goal would be targeted therapies. This kind of explains why just revascularizing diabetics may not show as good a benefit, and there's more to the story. Further reading is on this article, Hunter et al. And this really brings to the fore all these factors that came together: the ability to process large data sets at scale using AI and machine learning techniques, the ability to easily look into genes, proteins, lipids, metabolism. All of these are going to truly revolutionize how we practice medicine and lead to individualized care. This is truly a revolution. Thank you for watching.